Hey everybody, my name is Allie Blum, and today I'm going to be talking to you about mental health and the infographics that I have found about it. Mental health is a touchy subject in the United States. It isn't talked about in a very respectful way, and people believe that if someone is struggling with their mental health, they are weak. This leads people to not fully understand how to help their mental health or how to seek help in general. Let's take a look at two infographics that I have found that can help people better understand how to deal with their mental health on their own without having to ask for help. The two infographics that I chose are different in style, but I believe that they both had the same goal in mind when they were being created. Although visually these two infographics seem very different, they actually are the same in my opinion. They both discuss ways to improve your mental health and carry their own weaknesses and strengths. Now we're going to be taking a look at the infographics that I chose. So this is the first infographic that I chose, and it was done by a man named Kai Tombuck and was put on a blog about how to handle your mental health during the 2020 pandemic. The style of this infographic is not in a long format, but rather in a square format instead. It uses the big picture of the woman in the middle with the solid color background. The infographic has different colored writing in order to be seen well and provides the reader with 7 different ways to help their mental health. It sorts the 7 ways in a circular motion, as you can see, almost as the woman is thinking about them all at once. I like that this infographic is simple, but it also has some uniqueness to it. A lot of infographics, you don't see a whole big picture of a woman in the middle of them, so I really like that it used something different and not just the same old, same old. The visual design is very pleasing and is easy to read, in my opinion. It uses the color blue to ensure a calm and honest reaction from its readers as well. I personally love the color blue. I think that it's a very calm and great color. And so the fact that they use this to talk about mental health really stands out, that this author really cares about what he's saying. I believe that the target audience of this infographic is women, obviously, who are struggling with their mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic. The author obviously uses a woman as center of this infographic and a calming color instead of big and bold colors. I think that the calming color was more focused towards women because they tend to like the calming colors more than the big, bright, bold ones. And I believe that he used the woman, for example, so that women could connect more with it because they see themselves on the cover of the infographic. In conclusion, I believe this infographic was designed very well. It gets the point across quickly without being too wordy or trying to overstep its boundaries, and it uses calm colors and images that aren't likely to stress out a reader, but instead offer a helpful hand in a hard time. This is the second infographic I chose, and as you can see, it already looks completely different. There's different colors, different fonts, different style, different length. Just the way that these two authors put these infographics together is entirely different. So this second infographic was put on a website that has many different kinds of infographics, and this one is specifically in the section of mental health and wellness. Immediately looking at this infographic, there is obviously a notable difference in style, as I said. And the first major style difference is that this one is an up and down format with different sections. This one also uses 2 different colors that contrast each other and make the infographic more eye-catching to make the readers want to read it, unlike the first one that only used one solid color as the background. It doesn't use one big picture, but much rather smaller images to catch the reader's attention. As you can see, there's a mountain, there's some roses, there's a little medical bag. The writing is also very different in this infographic because it is put up into short sentences and bullet points, and I love this style because I believe it makes it a lot easier for the audience to read rather than having to read a whole couple sentences. Taking a closer look at the colors of this infographic, they are light pink and cream, which contrast each other very well. And the author also uses different colors than just one for the text, which I really like. I think it's a really cool way to just change up the way that you're writing. And this is visually appealing to the reader and makes it easier to read, of course. The images also are very appealing since they're not all one color. It makes an eye-popping illusion for the reader and just makes them want to look at the infographic longer. I believe that the creator of this infographic is a creative thinker because they did not put too many facts but just advice to help people struggling mentally. But in contrast, I believe the author of the first one was a critical thinker because he added more words to this infographic and also more purple words than the other one did. Overall, I believe that both infographics are presented very well and have visually pleasing designs with helpful information. Now we're going to be moving on to the infographic that I created. I think that it pulls together a lot of the elements that I enjoyed by the other 2 infographics, and so now I'm going to show it to you. As you can see, for my own infographic, I took elements from both of the infographics to create something that I thought was better. So I chose to go with the longer style instead of the square because I like how my eyes naturally just go down the infographic instead of having to look all around. And I also chose the blue tone colors, like in the first infographic, for more of a calming color to help people when they read it to really feel like they should be reading it instead of being scared of it almost. I chose to use the bullet points from the second infographic so that it was easier to read. And the words in the first infographic had a lot of information at once, and so I was trying to keep it short and sweet. My information is focused on small things people who are struggling with mental health can do, and I also added some inspirational sayings at the end of each section to give the person a little pick me up. I liked how in the first infographic it did that, it gave a little pick me up, but I didn't like how much words were on it. And I like in the second infographic how it had smaller words and smaller things people can do instead of trying to get them to do a bigger picture, because obviously when you're struggling mentally, it's just very hard to be able to do the big thing, and so focusing on the little stuff is really important. I believe that my infographic does a very good job of conveying the information in a helpful and empathetic way, while also being extremely visually pleasing, in my opinion. I chose just some pictures that I thought would look good next to the words that went with what it was saying in that section. And I liked how I put my title as a question because it's how can you improve your mental health, not how some random lady can improve her mental health. How can you improve yours? And I also, my favorite thing about my infographic was my inspirational sayings. I just think that it's a great way to show people that we care about them and that they are loved and that they can do this. Thank you.